Good afternoon, everyone. It's July 14th, 2025. No, I'm not making no fucking Illuminati hand sign. I don't. People that talk about that, every hand movement people make, the okay sign. You know, not everybody that does that shit is a part of that. You know, it's talking with your hands. But I just know certain people that saw that that gesture would make that claim. I'm not really sure about the topic here, but there's plenty to talk about. And there's no shortage. No shortage. Alright. So Alex Jones keeps on talking about the Chi-Coms, right? You know, Dustin Nemos. He likes to refer to Alex as Alex Never the Jew Jones. But it's true. But he likes to run his mouth about China a lot. And I'm not going to play the sound because, well, then I'll have to go in and do a bunch of fucking editing because I lost my headset. I had an animal chew the cord in half, and I haven't replaced it yet. So check this shit out, though. Look at all the shit going on over there. It's crazy as fuck. So over there, apparently, shit's blowing up. The electric cars, they're blowing up because it's so hot. And then in other parts, they're being inundated with floods, and yet other parts, they're getting fucking snow. The thing is, they're going to claim that this is anthropogenic climate change. And I have no dispute with the change part, or the climate. It's the anthropogenic part I have a problem with. Even if it was partially true, even if it is, it's not the average person that's causing the damage. It is the billionaires that's causing the damage. It's their corporations causing the damage. It is governments causing the damage. Militaries. But you and I, we're not responsible for climate change in any way, shape, or form, except for indirectly through our support of all these different entities. And the longer we support them, the worse things are going to get. This shit cannot be disputed because all we have to do is look back into, earlier times and move forward on that timeline, and things have gotten worse every year. Every year they've gotten worse, and we're getting to that point where we've already gotten to the point where there's no coming back from it. It's not going to happen. The United States is done. And, the sooner you accept this fact, the sooner you accept that these fucking faggot people didn't do anything but usher in the final nails in our coffin. And no, I'm not saying Joe Biden was any better. None of them are any good. And I struggle to understand how everyone has not come to this conclusion. How come everyone cannot see we've drastically dropped the ball as humans? We've allowed pedophile psychopaths to gain complete control over everything. Right? And yes, they're Jews. Most of them are Jews. You want to say I'm anti-Semitic for saying that? I don't fucking care. I only care about the truth. And the truth is, if you jump down any of these rabbit holes, the pedophilia rabbit hole, the money rabbit hole, industry rabbit hole, any of them, the war, communism, Adolf Hitler, any of them, you'll always find a Jew at the center of it. Always. I don't have all the answers, my answer to these problems is very simple. And that is to take the billionaires, take their wealth, strip them of everything, and put them all in prison. All of them. Not just Bill Gates or... Yes, they're all guilty of something. Elon Musk. I mean, dude is literally trying to turn human beings into fucking cyborgs. I think that's something to be alarmed about. I think that's something to be alarmed about, because these fucking people have actually publicly pulled the trigger on world the population through any means necessary. It wasn't just the COVID vax. It's the chemtrails. And man, have they put some shit in that. What was it? David Deagle? As in the Deagle Report? I think that's the same person. I just got through listening to a piece of an interview where he was talking about all the shit in the chemtrails. And I already knew this because I did a video on it. As a matter of fact, that video is still on YouTube right now on my channel, which I got back. Haven't uploaded to it. Why? Why? When they're just gonna shadow ban me. Same with BitChute. They shadow ban me too. But how do you trust anything anymore? How do you trust any politician? How do you trust what you're seeing on video? You can't. If you're logically thinking about the world as it exists right now, you can't trust what you see on your screens. You can't trust anything. You can't trust anything the politicians say. Nothing. And Donald Trump was sitting here next to me, and he said, "Man, it's raining hard outside." I'd get my fucking ass up off my chair, and I'd walk to the door, open it, and look outside. That's how much I don't trust him. Or anybody else for that matter. But this shit going on in China and Alex Jones, he keeps on talking about them being a threat. And don't get me wrong, I understand that technologically, yes, China's a threat. I understand that economically, China's a threat. But it's not the Chinese over here kidnapping our children and selling them into fucking slavery. That would be the Jew and their accomplices. Now, does China do evil shit? Fuck yeah, they do. Real evil shit. But we're no different. We're no different. Our government is equally evil as China. And it's always been that way. You know, we like to tell ourselves that we were the good guys in World War II. But were we? I mean, they did genocide through starvation and exposure, all them Germans. They did have a program of raping the German women. And then they expect you to believe that these fucking people are victims of something. And another video on, it's still there. I talked about how the victimizer cannot be a victim. And Jews as a whole seem to be victimizers. Can I say for sure every single one of them? No. Because I've met what do they call them, Jews? They believe in Jesus, Messianic Jew. Here, locally. And the dude lives by himself. He doesn't bother anybody. At least not that I know of. And he doesn't do anything. So I can't say that that man is evil by what I see of him. But then again, I don't know what's in his heart. But if he believes in Jesus, what's in his heart should be good and pure, right? I mean, after all, that's what Jesus was. Pureness, goodness, everything man should be. But we're not. We all fall real short of Jesus. And it's a pity. It's a pity because he says that we can all be like him. But everyone chooses to be, well, what they are. Yeah, when I started my video, or making videos on YouTube, I really cared about saving other people. I really did. And then, little by little, I began to realize that, well, you can't. You can't save them. Even if you're telling the truth, which I do. I really try to be accurate and tell the truth. So if I get something wrong, it's not that I was intentionally lying. It was because I read the wrong thing or whatever, and if I find out, I will correct myself. That's what you're supposed to do. But, oh, my Chihuahua, man, that dog. He's annoying, but aren't all Chihuahuas annoying? But anyway, I got some other video clips here, but the shit going on in China, it's seriously weakening the government over there. It's the people are beginning to, well, have an awakening of their own, and I think that's a great thing. That's a great thing. And I really sincerely hope that more people actually awaken. And this shit, this red pill shit, man, they hijacked that shit and totally fucked up its meaning. I would like to take that shit back and actually help people wake up to the reality around them. We don't have to tolerate what we've been tolerating. We don't have to do any of this shit. And really, all we have to do is not cooperate. And that's it. You want your peaceful solution, there it is. No cooperation. Right? And of course, people would be beat down, arrested, and if we stand for each other, with each other, when these things happen, and not allow them to haul one of our fellow Americans off to some gulag, how quickly would things change? How quickly would things change if we decided to unite and cooperate and say no? How simple would that be? How simple would it be to just say no? And when they come and try to use force against your neighbor or yourself, you defend yourself. You defend your neighbor. Because they're coming. They're going to come for all the people who said no. Went to the COVID shit. And Palantir is going to help that along. So this is this fag here. I'm sure you know who he is, and if you don't, it's the dude that made that song, I'm Not White, I'm Jewish. It is a pretty lame song, by the way. Pretty lame. And I'm not going to subject you to it. I was thinking it'd be cool for somebody to make a counter song, a rebuttal song to that. I don't have the voice for it, so not me, but somebody. I could write the lyrics for you. I didn't mean for it to land on that page. So, a large chunk of the world is really, really getting sick of these fucking Jews. I mean, really sick of it. And I really don't want to do this, but it's one short piece, so it'll be easy to edit it. Check this shit out.
This is okay, you will check. Let me ask you a real question. Iran replied to an Israeli illegal attack by bombing Israel. Okay, it's easy to condemn Iran, as you have done time and time again. But over the last years, Israel has bombed, Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran, Sudan, Yemen. Of course, Palestine is illegally occupying Palestine, parts of Syria, illegally occupying parts of Lebanon. Are you able to condemn this? Or do you say, no, I fully stand with Israeli violations of international law? Do you have these double standards, or do you adhere to international law?
Please. Madam President, what was it? 1, 2, 3 hours ago, Thomas Tobé on behalf of the EPP was talking about the victims of communism. The only difference between us is that we never make difference between victims and victims. It should not be controversial to assert that killing, starving, mutilating, and slaughtering children constitute a clear violation of international law. That is what is happening right now in Gaza, what the far-right government of Israel is doing.
So, if I commit a crime, matter of fact, I have committed lots of them. And when I got caught, I heard this shit. Well, you have to be held accountable for your actions. And what they mean by that is you gotta pay the state a bunch of fucking money and do some slave work in a prison for a little while. That's what they mean when they say being held accountable. It's not natural accountability, it's forced accountability. Because if I were selling a plant to other people, which I was, and I did for a very, very long time, those people come to me for a plant that didn't harm them, didn't harm anybody, but some dickhead in some suit in some capital decided he was going to go along with the whole paper industry thing that happened regarding hemp and the big pharma thing and make it illegal. I didn't agree to any of these laws. I never signed any kind of paper saying that, yeah, I agree that these laws are moral and just and I will follow them. No, I never done that and I never would. But, nonetheless, I'm held accountable for violating some dickhead's sense of sensibility there in the state capitol or federal capital, and I had to pay a bunch of money. Now, why is it individuals like Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, you name it, right? Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci, why is it they're not held accountable when everybody else has to be? Why is that? I think the Talmud probably holds the answers to those questions, or to that question. It's not just one answer, there's a few. And one of them is that, well, Jews can't be, they can't be charged with crimes if they're committing them against non-Jews. That's one of the things in the Talmud. And that's what they go by. They don't go by the Old Testament like some of these retarded Christians believe. And I'm not saying Christians are retarded. I'm saying the ones who believe that are. Why shouldn't these people be held accountable? Why shouldn't they be rounded up by the people? Now, fuck this waiting for the FBI or whoever to do it. They're obviously not going to do it. They've had years and years and years to do these things, to hold these billionaire criminals accountable, but they never have. So there's no logical reason to think they're going to start. So that means it's up to us to hold them accountable. Not the FBI, CIA, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a fucking criminal billionaire, just like Bill Gates. And don't get me wrong, I believe the same thing about Joe Biden and Barack Obama. I'm not a liberal. I don't believe in the left-right paradigm. I don't believe in Republicans or Democrats. So don't play that shit with me. I'm above that. So, you can't save people from their beliefs. They have to come to the realization, all on their own, that their beliefs are erroneous. And a lot of them never will. No matter how much proof you show them, they're going to hold those beliefs. I like Mike Adams as a person. He's got a good personality. But he's got to be living in a state of dissidence that's fucking incredible. Because on one hand, he wants to decentralize and blah, 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 but on the other hand, he worships institutions like law enforcement, FBI, and the military, and so on. That right there is cognitive dissonance. And he don't see it within himself. Nobody does. So, and until people break their chains, until they come to the same understanding that the rest of us who are actually awake have come to, things are going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I really hope the Bible is true, that the days are cut short so that there's somebody left alive, because these people are doing everything possible to kill us all. What else can I say? So basically, I make these videos now for the people who like to hear from me. That's it. I don't expect anything to come out of them, except for maybe a knock at the door from the FBI again. But other than that, I don't expect anybody to actually listen, because they never do. But it's a good way for me to vent and maybe show other people that they're not alone in their thoughts, and Because it's very lonely. It's very lonely to be the only person around you that thinks the way you do, that understands the things you do, that knows the shit you do. And you can't just force people to hear it. They won't. It's just like when Jesus was talking to the Jews, and he told them, "You can't hear me. You can't go where I'm going." And likewise, these people can't hear us, and they can't go where we're going. I had some more video clips, but I think that's a good place to end it. Until next time, kill the state, live free.